Hey, happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. My name is CJ Curry. It's the CJ Curry Show. You know, it's presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks, making your daily fantasy sports experience easy by allowing you to pick 2, 3, 4, 5, and even up to 6 of your favorite superstars from your favorite sports. You decide whether they're going to go for more or less on their projections, and you can win up to 25 times your money. All right. And we saw a couple of people last night in Patreon who actually were able to win 25 times their money because we had ourselves a very hot night in the Patreon community. So shout out to all my Patreon members who are joining me live here. Guys, if you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button as well. We went for over 100 likes in 4 straight shows. I think we could run it back, make it a 5-peat. But let me show you guys real quick what we were up to last night. Definitely did some work in terms of NBA and PrizePicks. And you can see here some of the picks that I posted to Curry's Kitchen. That's where I post all of my individual picks for Patreon members who have private access to this channel. So we've posted Quentin Grimes less than 12.5 points. That hit. RJ Barrett less than 18.5 points. That hit. Evan Mobley over 8.5 rebounds. That hit. Clint Capella more than 11.5 rebounds and assists. That did not hit. And I guess you guys kind of saw that game. Boston was beating the brakes off of Atlanta for most of that game. And I think Clint Capella was kind of impacted by that blowout, or what was a 30-point lead for most of the game. So that one did not hit. But Mitchell Robinson, less than 7.5 points, did hit. Donovan Mitchell for more than 4.5 rebounds hit. And then the final pick of the night was Jordan Poole for less than 17.5 points. He finished with 17. So, of course, yes, that one hit as well. So that's 6-1 on the night yesterday. And guys, for the month, we're running really, really hot. I mean, we're talking about 33-14 month to date, which is a 70.2% hit rate in Patreon. So if you're looking for a friendly community, somebody or a community that's full of like-minded individuals, people who just want to help one another, I think I've built a pretty decent community. Is it the biggest community? No, not the biggest community, but I feel like we're the best when it comes to just a lot of people who are just really friendly, getting down to business, helping each other put each other on winning picks and plays each and every day. So the fun never ends, man. It's like a 24/7 circus inside of Discord. We're always talking about our favorite picks each and every day. So consider joining Patreon. It's 66 cents a day, $20 a month. You can join down in the description of today's video. And I don't know, maybe I'm just full of myself, but I think it's a good time, and we're hitting really hot lately, 70.2% month to date. As I mentioned before. So I just want to run through the chat and say what's up to everybody in the live chat. Appreciate all 70 plus viewers that we have here at the moment. Make sure you guys run those likes up for me. I appreciate the continued support. But as far as who we have in the building, we got T-Bone. Shout out to you. Patrick's in the building. Dominic says, yo, thanks for the Cam Johnson. I guess that was a Cam Johnson rebounds. Royce O'Neal picks. I think we had Royce O'Neal for more than whatever his assist number was, 2.5, I think it was. And then he said Carrasco, which we had him under on his fantasy score if you watched yesterday's MLB video. So you're welcome, Dominic. I'm glad those picks ended up working out for you. Are they always all going to hit? No, they're not. I mean, we're still gambling here at the end of the day. I wish I had those guarantees that I could give you guys, but we're still gambling. But I'm glad those 3 did hit for you. Colin's in the building. Yo, Colin, what's up? Andy's in the building. Says my bankroll's dwindling. I need a hit today. Well, we got 4 NBA games to talk about, so I'm sure there will be plenty of hits, plenty of opportunities for us to find some winning picks. Pat's fan says good afternoon. Good afternoon back at you. Michael says if you're not part of the Patreon community, you guys should really consider signing up. The community has been hot and streaking lately, so don't take it from me. Don't take it from me. Take it from Michael, one of our Patreon members who's enjoying himself and finding himself with some winning picks each and every day. Let's see here. Pats fan said I saw on Twitter. Definitely considering it. Appreciate you, Pats fan. You know, it's $20, man. I think it's pretty affordable. You could win that back in one good night. You have the rest of the month of April to, win that back 2 weeks. I think we could definitely return at least $20 back to you in that span of time, 14 days, but we'll see. Andy says, I need a juicy 2-man. We'll work on that, Andy. Everyday Fantasies in the building says, what it do, fam? You flex, I flex back. Wouldn't want to be nowhere else. Appreciate your support. That's our guy, Don P111. If you guys are in Patreon and Discord, you know who that is. Tweez is in the building. Shout out to you. Let's get it, says IRB Neil. Who else we got in here? Todd Live for Sunday says, let's have a great Sunday fun day. Go, everyone, go Bucks. Okay, go Bucks. We got a Bucks fan in the building. Sean, shout out to you. Ricky, shout out to you. Roy's in the building. We got Josiah here. Shout out to Josiah. Strength in numbers. Yo, yo, yo. We got, D'Anthony Melton under 8.5 points ended up cashing. I know that was a controversial pick yesterday, and he made us sweat. He definitely made us sweat, but D'Anthony Melton did stay under his points prop. Ace V's in the building. He says, Jordan Poole came through for the under. Absolutely. Absolutely. Peyton, shout out to you. Sydney's in the building. Jeremy, what's up? We got Deandrick. Is that how you say that? Caesar. Dang, Divine Truth, Allah, Trill City's in the building. We lit. Yeah, we lit. We lit. Unique Carter, Robert Garcia. Good grief. Kale's in the building. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody that I might have missed or skipped over. No offense. Nothing personal. You know, there's a lot of you folks in here. All right, we got to pick ourselves a winner from yesterday's giveaway. If you guys are new here, well, let me fill you in. Let me give you the scoop. Every single time that I go live, those who have hit the subscribe button, those who have hit the like button, and those who have commented, left a comment on the replay of that day's show are automatically entered in to win a risk-free 2-pick power play on PrizePicks. Basically, you get that 2-pick power play assigned to your account. You get both picks right. You win $100. So for those of you who are looking for some extra money, some promo credits that can then be turned into actual credits and then could be withdrawn and put into your bank account, I'm the plug. I got you. So let's go ahead and pick a winner from yesterday's comment section. Appreciate everybody who took time out and left a comment. Some of you left too many comments. You know, it filters duplicate comments, guys. You only have to comment once. Commenting 10 times doesn't increase your odds or your chances of winning. I'm just putting it out there because I saw some of y'all leaving like 5 and 10 comments. That does not help your odds or your chances at all. It's one unique comment per user, okay? So let's go ahead and hit the start button here now that we have our 36 unique comments already loaded in. And it looks like our winner is going to be Harrison Kestenbaum. Shout out to Harrison Kestenbaum. He said he was liking Spencer Dinwiddie for over 4 rebounds. Don't know if that hit or not, but that's besides the point. Doesn't matter. Harrison, congratulations to you, my friend. You have now won yourself a risk-free 2-pick power play on PrizePicks. You get both of those picks right, you get $100. So go ahead, reach out to me. You could reach me on Twitter at Curry the Creator, or you could drop down to the Discord. There's a link down in the description of today's video. Shoot me a DM with your PrizePicks email address. We'll get you that 2-pick power play ASAP, and then hopefully you get both picks right and you're $100 richer. All right, Harrison. So that's the name of the game. So for those of you who watch but are not subscribed, you are doing yourself a major disservice. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, just like Harrison did, and then go to the replay of today's video. You know, the thumbnail with LeBron James screaming. That's today's video. Go to the comment section after we end today's show. Comment your favorite pick prop play of the day, or maybe you want to say something nice like, you have very luscious brown eyes, Mr. Curry. You know, say whatever you want to say. All right, but leave a comment in the comment section. Do those 3 things and you'll be automatically entered to win like my man Harrison here. All right, let's get down to business, guys. Like I said, we've got a nice little NBA slate. It tips off at 3 o'clock, so we're not quite under the gun like we were yesterday. Yesterday, we had that 1 p.m. game that kind of put some pressure on us, right? We had to hurry up and scramble a little bit. Now we can kind of open up the full board, take our time, and really open up the options here. 4 different games to choose from, so we'll definitely be taking a look at all of those and not feel like we have to hurry up and rush to get some picks in, being that the first game doesn't start until 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we've got almost 3 hours to make our pick decisions. Not that I'm going to be streaming for 3 hours. I'm just saying that's when the first game starts, okay? Anyway, Los Angeles Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies, for my money, looks like the most exciting game on the board today. 228.5 points. It is the highest total game, 4-point spread, which means this thing should stay close and competitive here if we're lucky. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Dennis Schroeder, all listed as game time decisions, all probable, okay? They're going to play. It's playoff basketball. They're in there. As far as the Memphis Grizzlies and their injuries, Steven Adams is out. LaRavia is out. So they're still going to be without Steven Adams, which means Xavier Tillman, Jaren Jackson is going to hold down that front court until Steven Adams is ready to come back. But this game, again, looks like the one that is probably the most fun on paper. Moving on to our 5:30 game, Miami at Milwaukee. These teams have met in previous playoff runs before. They are no stranger to one another. I expect this to be a very competitive series here. Kyle Lowry listed as a game time decision, as is Gabe Vincent. So a couple of guards to keep your eye on in the Miami Heat backcourt. I expect both of them to play unless it's a really serious injury or ailment. Nikola Jovic, not Jokic, Jovic of the Miami Heat, he is out today. So that is their only confirmed injury, I guess you could say, player that's out. Milwaukee's going to be completely healthy, though. They have nobody listed on the injury report. 220 is the total, so not a real high total here. 9.5 point spread. They expect the Bucks to win by 10 or more points, right around 9 to 10 points. That's a pretty big margin of victory. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm sure I got some Miami Heat fans out there. Are the Milwaukee Bucks going to beat the brakes off of the Heat today? Let me know in the live chat, those of you who are watching, or maybe you're watching the replay. Let me know in the comments section. Who you got, Milwaukee or Miami? And if Milwaukee does win, are they really going to win by like 9 or 10 points? Is it going to be that big of a beatdown? Moving it over to the West Coast, we got the Los Angeles Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Another fantastic series here. Paul George will not play in this series. Sounds like he's trying to get right for the next series should the Clippers advance and get past the Phoenix Suns. It's going to be a tall task, though, let's be honest. For the Phoenix Suns, Cameron Payne is listed as a game time decision. As far as the total goes, 225.5 points, 7.5 point spread. They got Phoenix winning by 7 to 8 points tonight from the looks of things. So this should be another really good series here. I am excited to see Kevin Durant, Ayton, Booker, Paul versus Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard. Westbrook and Kawhi Leonard, that's about it, right? And then you got a bunch of veterans surrounding those two guys. No Paul George kind of puts a little bit of a damper on this matchup, but nonetheless, let's go to the 10:30 game. Minnesota at Denver, my friends. 224.5 points with a 7.5 point spread. Minnesota's got some guys on the game time decision list, including Rudy Gobert and Noel. Both of those guys probably will play. McDaniels is out, as is Naz Reid. So no Naz Reid or Jalen McDaniels for the Minnesota Timberwolves. As far as Denver goes, no injury news. They are completely healthy. They're going to have their full complement of players, including Jokic, AG, MPJ, KCP, a lot of initials there, and Jamal Murray. All right, so that's your rundown. That's your 4-game NBA slate. You guys excited for these matchups today? Let me know which game you're most looking forward to in the live chat or in the comments if you're catching this on the replay. All right, let's swing it on over here to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. So typically what we've been doing in these live shows, we kind of run through the first page of the Optimizer, take a look at what's popping off here on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, trying to locate some value. Then we'll check some projection sites, sometimes 2 and 3 sites, just to make sure that the projections sort of align with what we're seeing here on the Optimizer. Listen, this strategy, this process has really been working for me. It's how I've managed to hit at a 70% hit rate on picks posted to Patreon members. It's how that I was able to hit on 6 out of 7 picks last night that I posted to Patreon members. Okay, we went 6-1 overall last night. So we're going to keep repeating this process, rinse and repeat, because it's been working. All right, the proof is in the pudding. We went over 65% hit rate for the month of March, 70% hit rate so far for the month of April. So I'm not going to change anything up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if you want to get your hands on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, I've left a link down in the description of today's video, guys. Save yourself $5. Use code Curry when you check out. Try it out for at least a month. I see some of you guys, you try it out for like a week and you're like, oh, this thing don't work. Got to give it a little bit more time. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme by any means, but it is a very, very helpful tool if you're playing on PrizePicks and some of these other daily fantasy pick'em style sites, okay? All right, let's go through the Optimizer. I'm going to skip over a few of these here, like Giannis's fantasy score, free throw makes. I'm going to skip over those. Got some other fantasy score options in here. You got Michael Porter Jr., though, at 2.5 3-point makes. Optimizer's liking him to go over this number. He would need to make at least 3 threes tonight. A 53.6% chance that he sinks at least 3 triples. in this game. So that's a pretty nice odds to hit, 53.6 or percentage to hit, right? So we know Michael Porter Jr., he likes to take a lot of threes. He's kind of a perimeter player, doesn't really get his buckets in the paint a whole lot, more of an outside shooter. So now that we know that this is a plus EV play, for those of you who are wondering, what the hell does plus EV mean? Well, positive expected value. That's the name of the game, especially if you're playing on PrizePicks, okay? Plus EV. So we know it's a plus EV play. Let's go take a look at some projections on Michael Porter Jr. See if these projection models are like an MPJ for at least 3 threes made tonight. Let's go back to this one here. We're going to start with Action Labs, which is a part of the Fantasy Labs package. Yeah, you got to pay for this. No, it's not free, but because you know me, I got the hookup. Holler if you hear me. 3.5 3-point makes is the projection, okay? 3.5 on a line of 2.5. That's one whole 3-pointer higher than his line of 2.5. So we're starting things off here with a very solid projection on Mr. Michael Porter Jr. So let's check another one here. We've got him at a projection of 3.0 3-point makes on a line of 2.5 going up against Minnesota tonight. So that's 2 projections, 2 projected overs so far. And then we'll run this a third time. This is Numberfire. Numberfire is completely free. You could go check out Numberfire at numberfire.com. How original. But yes, this one is completely free. You guys just go sign up for a free account and you get access to these projections as well. But here we go. Here's a projection on Michael Porter Jr. 2.6 3-point makes. So we're seeing a range of anywhere from as low as 2.6 3-point makes as high as 3.5 3-point makes. But nonetheless, all 3 sites, all 3 projection models have him going over 2.5 3-point makes. So as far as building out our first entry of the day, I mean, we could start right here with Michael Porter Jr. for more than 2.5 3-point makes. What do you guys think about this one? Those who are watching, let me know. Are you feeling this one? Are you not feeling it? Are you hot on it, cold on it? Why or why not? You know, let's create a dialogue, a conversation in this live chat or in the comment section if you're catching the replay, okay? Tell me what you're thinking of here about Michael Porter Jr. Some of y'all are saying cold. Some of y'all are saying no. Prezzo saying he's liking it. Okay, so we got kind of, you know, differing opinions, differing ideas behind this particular one. If you guys want to put a little bit more research and numbers behind it, guys, that's where props.cash can really help you out. You go to the 3-point category, you go down and filter out all games, Minnesota versus Denver. Click on Michael Porter Jr.'s name. And then you can kind of get an idea how his 3-point makes have been looking here over the last like 10 games. He's cleared this number, 2.5 3-point makes in 8 out of his last 10 games. That's an 80% hit rate. All right, that's not too shabby here, if we're being honest. Last 30 games, 22 for 30. The last 30 games that he's played in, that's a 73% hit rate. What more do you want? 73% hit rate. Sometimes seeing is believing, and maybe in this case, seeing all these green beans in his game logs will get you feeling a different type of way about taking the over on Michael Porter Jr. here at 2.5 3-point makes. But it's looking pretty sweet here. It's looking pretty nice. And then he's going to be playing at home tonight. One other thing that you could do is take a look at how he shoots as far as 3-pointers go on the road versus at home. They call this splits. So you could take a look at his home splits versus his road splits. So he's making about 3 3-pointers per game. When he plays at home, he still makes a pretty healthy 2.7 3-point makes per game. Guys, he's hit at a very high rate here over the last like 15 home games that he's played in. Kind of a rocky start if you look at like the first 10 to 15 games at home. But I would say the last like 15 to 20 games at home, he's really started to sink some triples, right? 7 for his last 10 at home. Taking a look here, 7 for his last 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last 10. 8 of his last 11. 9 of his last 12. 10 of his last 13. 11 of his last 14. 12 of his last 15. He's hit the over in 12 of his last 15 games played at home. So he's been pretty darn hot. All right. 14 of his last 18, it looks like. So I could see why people are betting the over on Michael Porter Jr. at 2.5 3-point makes. Now, somebody mentioned check out what he's done against Minnesota. Well, it's not been all bad, but it's not been all good either. I mean, the last 4 times that he's played the Timberwolves, he's gone over in 2 out of 4 games. So it's a 50% hit rate. The one game that he did go over, well, he went over in 2 games. One of the games that he went over was on the road. One of the games that he went over most recently, February 7th, was at home against Minnesota. So you got 2 times where he's went over, 2 times where he's went under. You would have lost by the hook here on February 5th as he only made 2 3-pointers in that game. So, he's shown that he has, the potential to get it done against the Timberwolves. So Minnesota ranks 16th in total threes allowed to opposing teams, 24th in 3-point field goal percentage to opposing teams. So these are not bad metrics, bad numbers when you're talking about Michael Porter Jr. here. I'm going to take it. Whether you guys do or don't, well, that's your business. You do what you want. It's your money, your picks. You don't have to play anything that I'm playing. But if you do, well, God bless you and good luck to us, because I am playing it. All right, I am playing it. You do what you want to do, though. All right, so that's your first option right there. That looks pretty solid to me. Let's scroll through a couple of these other ones here. What else is popping off on the optimizer here? What about DAngelo Russell? DAngelo Russell sitting at 5.5 assists today. The optimizer, based on the odds pulled from the sports books, comparing it to the PrizePicks line of 5.5 assists, gives us about a 53.1% chance that he stays under 5.5 dimes tonight. So do we think DAngelo Russell's good for 5 or less assists? Well, let's take a look at some projections here. If I got projections that kind of agree with the optimizer, I feel a whole lot better about taking it. Just like we did with Michael Porter Jr. over 2.5 3-point makes rather. So let's go take a look at DAngelo Russell here. We don't want, there we go. Not Russell Westbrook, DAngelo Russell. So we have a projection here of 5.8. That's obviously more than 5.5. At 5.5, the optimizer said, hey, take the under, 53% chance that he stays at 5 or less dimes. So this first projection of 5.8 kind of going against the optimizer, which I personally don't like to see. I like projections that coincide with what the optimizer is telling me to do. So let's get a couple more projections and see what's happening here. Here's a line of 5.5, a projection of 6. Once again, 6 is more than 5.5. The optimizer says take the under at 5.5. Somebody's going to be right, whether it be the projection models, whether it be the optimizer. But for me, I'm just going to leave this one alone, okay? This one looks like a fade for me. When the information doesn't quite line up, I'm good. I think we could do better. We could find something that has a more positive correlation, so to speak. Let's take a look at this one here. Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets big man, over 24.5 points. Optimizer again giving this one a 53.1% chance of hitting. Okay, so he needs 25 or more points tonight. Let's go take a look at this one. He's facing off against probably Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Gobert was listed as a game time decision, but I think he's going to play, right? I think Gobert's going to end up playing. Let me see here. Let's go Jokic. Got a projection for Jokic here at 23. So again, the optimizer is saying, based on the odds, based on the way things are flowing here on the sports books, that we should be taking the over at 24.5. But with our first projection of 23, again, that's not making me feel so warm or fuzzy inside. So let's get another projection here on Nikola Jokic. Jokic, 24.5 points. We got a projection of 22.6. So again, just like DAngelo Russell on those assists, we've got some projections that just aren't quite jiving with what we're seeing here on these projection models, right? The optimizer and the projection models are not lining up. So I'm going to leave that one alone too. I'm going to skip over that one. What about Rui Hachimura at 9.5 points? It's suggested here, based on the odds, 53.1% chance that he stays under 9.5 points. What are we thinking of Rui Hachimura? He's coming off the bench, right? I'm not sure what his role will be. I mean, they did trade for him, so he's going to have some role. He's going to have some minutes. But how big of a role, how big of an impact will he have tonight? That's really the question, right? So Hachimura is sitting at 9.5 points. The under looking like the way to go here. Let's pull some projections up for Rui. 9.3 on a line of 9.5, pretty close. Obviously, 9.3 is a little closer to 9 than it is 10, so not a bad first projection. Wish it was more like 8.3 points, but let's go pull some other projections here. Rui Hachimura, 9.5 points. Here's a projection of 6.68 points. That's a whole heck of a lot lower than 9.5. So now we have two projections, one kind of tight at 9.3, the other one way under at 6.6. Let's just check a third projection here because that first one was a little too close to call. Let's go check Number Fire. Number Fire's actually got him at 7.8 points today, my friends. Even if we were feeling generous and we wanted to round this up and call it 8 points, 8's less than 9.5 for all of you keeping score at home. So I think we could feel pretty good here about Rui Hachimura. He is at 9.5 points going up against Memphis. 3 different projection models. All 3 have him projected for less than 10 points today. If he gets 10 or more, we're screwed. But hey, at least we know we got our money in good, right? The odds are in our favor. The projection models, 3 different ones, are in our favor. We can't ask for much more than that. So there's your first 2 picks. MPJ over 2.5 3-point makes. Rui Hachimura under 9.5 points. What are we thinking so far? What are we thinking so far? B-Don says the optimizer needs a week to adjust to NBA playoffs. I gotta disagree with you there. Not, I can't say that I agree whenever I went 6-1 last night on NBA picks and they were all pulled from the optimizer with a little bit of research applied to them. I think the optimizer is doing just fine, my friends. I don't think there's any adjustment needed whatsoever. Almost swept the board on 7 picks yesterday. Had Clint Capella and the Hawks showed a little bit more backbone and made that game a little bit more competitive against the Boston Celtics. Maybe Clint Capella comes away with 11 rebounds and assists. But no, I don't think the optimizer's needing any type of adjustment or tune-up. It's pulling the odds right from your favorite sports books. There's nothing to tune. There's nothing to optimize about the optimizer. But anyway, here's another one. Tyus Jones sitting at 6.5 points today. Memphis Grizzlies point guard. The optimizer said take the over here. 53.1% chance that he scores at least 7 points tonight. He'll be coming off of the bench, backing up Ja Morant. Obviously, Ja Morant's back, and he'll be in the starting lineup. But 53.1% chance that he goes over 6.5 points. So let's check some projections out for Tyus Jones. 7.5 on a line of 6.5. That is a great first projection. 1 point projection, higher than his line of 6.5. Love that. Let's just run through a couple others real quick. You don't have to spend all day doing research, my friends. It's really this easy. You can get fantastic results just by doing what you see me doing, but you got to get the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. That's really the key component to all of this, making all of this work for you. Here's a projection of 7.2 on a line of 6.5. And we got one more projection here. Tyus Jones, 9.6 projected points. Again, his line is sitting at 6.5. Somebody just mentioned he's been bumped, and sure enough, he has been bumped. So we were liking the over at 6.5, which means we were hoping for 7 or more points, right? I think you could still take the over at 7 and feel all right about it. Maybe he does end up with exactly 7. Maybe he ends up with 8 and you still get the over. There was a number of picks that got bumped yesterday that still ended up hitting pretty easily. Quentin Grimes under points. That one got bumped down to 12. RJ Barrett under points. That one got bumped down from 18.5 down to 8, and it still hit pretty easily. There was another one too. There was a few that got bumped down that I posted yesterday that still ended up hitting. Evan Mobley at 8.5 rebounds. I took the over on that. It got bumped up to 9. He cleared those 9 rebounds, no problem. So don't be afraid to take some bumps. For me, I'm just going to avoid it though, because I don't like including any picks that might tie or might potentially push. So if you still like Tyus Jones over 7 points, I can't be mad at you. Like I said, he's projected for 7.5, 7.2, and as high as 9.6 on some of these different projection models. So that's kind of what you could expect from Tyus Jones. If he ends up with 8 points, I would not be surprised whatsoever. All right. So let's see what else we have here. What about Chris Paul under 9.5 assists? This is the last one on page one of the optimizer. 53.1% chance that CP3 records 9 or less dimes tonight. So let's go take a look at some projections on Chris Paul and these assists, and then we'll take some questions from you guys. 7.7 assists. His first projection, well under 9.5. Whew. 7.7 assists, well under 9.5. That is a great first projection if we're considering the under, like the optimizer says we should be considering the under on Chris Paul at 9.5 dimes. So 7.7, love that. All right, let's get another one though. We're not gonna just settle for one projection. Let's go take a look at some other ones. 7.46 assists on a line of 9.5. Guys, that's like 2 assists under his line today of 9.5. That's pretty crazy. All right, 7.7, 7.4. What does number fire have Chris Paul at? I gotta know. I got to know. All right, so this one's a little tighter at 9.5, but 3 different projection models. We're not seeing any of them that has Chris Paul at like 10 or more assists. All of them are 9.5 or lower. 2 of them are below 9.5. So you guys are saying that Chris Paul has been bumped. Well, let's refresh the optimizer. You got to get real comfortable with refreshing the optimizer because lines do change rather quickly. So we talked about Tyus Jones. You could take the more or over on him. If you could still get Tyus Jones somewhere else at 6.5 points, probably want to do that. Chris Paul is down to 9 assists. We were thinking about taking the under on him. We saw some very favorable projections, under 8 assists on 2 of the models that we like to reference. So at 9, I'm probably going to leave it alone because we did catch that one projection that had him at exactly 9.5. I would have probably liked it better at the 9.5 number to take the under. At 9, I'm just going to stay away from it. He very well could land on 9 assists or fewer, but I'm just going to leave it alone. So I'll take these 2 off. We'll stick with what we've got so far. Like I said, these have not been these have not been bumped up or down yet. In other words, they cannot push, they cannot tie, which I like that. You know, I like clean wins and clean losses on PrizePicks. So we got 202 people watching, man. That's the most people I've seen in a very long time. Guys, I'm just asking for half of you to hit the like button so we could reach 100 likes and get this video out to as many people out there as we can. All right. If you like what I'm doing, let me know by hitting that like button. Let YouTube know that you're liking it by hitting that like button. But with over 200 of you watching, we should be at least 100 likes, right? At least. All right. All right. Let's go back to the optimizer. We have refreshed it. Is there anything else that's like really screaming at us? Like, take me, pick me. Let's look. Let's run through it one more time. We talked about DAngelo Russell fading that one. Not going to take him under 5.5 assists. That one just did not look too groovy, right? Jokic over 24.5 points. I'm leaving that one alone too because I got him projected for under that point line on a couple of different models here. What about KCP? This one's got about a 53% chance of hitting. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope sitting at 11.5 points and assists. The optimizer saying go under on Kentavious Caldwell-Pope at 11.5 points and assists. Let's peek at this one real quick. Let's run it through some projection models, see what Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's looking like. 11.3 on a line of 11.5. That's slightly less than 11.5. Obviously closer to 11 than it is 12, which is, you know, what we're looking for. 11 or less and we're fine. But that's a tight projection. Let's go find some other projections here on KCP. Here's a 11.5, but the line, or the projection rather, is 12.2. So they're suggesting, the projections are suggesting you go over here. So we kind of have one projection under, one projection over. Let's go for the tiebreaker. Let's look at a third projection on Kentavious Caldwell-Pope at 11.5 points and assists and see what this final projection's looking like. 9.1 points plus 2 assists. That's 11.1. Another really close projection, but slightly under 11.5. So this one's looking kind of iffy for me, but I guess if you were to lean one way or the other on Kentavious Caldwell-Pope at 11.5 points and assists, I guess you would want to lean toward the under based on 2 of the models having him going slightly under or less than his line of 11.5. So you could go there if you wanted to. And now you got yourself 3 picks. All plus EV. KCP's the one that's a little questionable, little sus. What are you guys thinking? Andy says either you're taking KCP under or you're not taking him at all. I hear you, brother. It's either under or fade, right? But never an over on Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. We don't trust him like that, right? And Minnesota's defense, low-key, has been really good. I don't know who they're going to match up with KCP today. It could be Anthony Edwards. They might put Ant-Man on him. Anthony Edwards has been doing a great job defensively lately. So if that's the matchup, then maybe KCP doesn't get those buckets, because he's really going to have to get some buckets to hit the 12 or more on this line of 11.5. All right, what else have we got on the optimizer? We're on page 2 of the optimizer now. We're continuing to get our scroll on. We talked about DAngelo Russell in his assists. What about DAngelo Russell under 2.5 3-point makes? We know the Lakers have a lot of mouths to feed. There's only one basketball and a lot of stars that want to get their hands on the ball. Obviously, LeBron James, Anthony Davis being the top 2 guys, but you got DAngelo Russell in there. They got Dennis Schroeder in the mix. There's just too many mouths to feed in this offense. But let's take a look at this one. Maybe the under on DAngelo Russell at 2.5 3-point makes is a good look. Optimizer giving this one about a 52.8% chance of actually hitting. So we're going to go check out some projections here for DAngelo Russell. Now the first projection's looking good here at 1.9. He's allowed to make 2. We're okay with him making 2. He cannot make 3, however. We don't want him making 3. So the first projection of 1.9, I'm okay with that. That's a good projection. Let's go take a look at some other ones real quick. 3-point makes, lines 2.5, projection 2.93. Okay, so they got him going close to 3-point makes on this one. We got to go to a tiebreaker, a third and final projection. Rubber match, right? We got to break the tie here. DAngelo Russell's 3-point projection, 2.4. That's very close to 2.5, but it is closer to 2 than it is 3. So if you were to lean which way on this one, I would say lean toward the under on DAngelo Russell. The odds are in your favor. We got 2 out of 3 projection models suggesting that DAngelo Russell will make 2 or fewer 3-pointers tonight going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. He'll have his hands full, man. Mike Conley Jr. Wait, wrong team. John Morant. Almost got me. I get the Grizzlies and T-Wolves mixed up all the time. John Morant will probably be guarding DAngelo Russell tonight. So there you go. There's another pick that you can kind of... These two I'm not liking as much. I think I like the MPJ pick the most. Hachimura would probably be second. And then these two, I'd probably like rank them or order them how you see them right here. He would be my number 1, MPJ. Rui would probably be my number 2. KCP would probably be my 3rd one. And then Russell would be my 4th one. But these two here, really close as far as like borderline. I'd put them in a flex entry. I would not power KCP or DAngelo Russell. All right, if that helps you decide. Let's see here. Anything else popping off in the optimizer? We got Drew Holiday. Have not talked any Milwaukee Bucks picks yet. Drew Holiday's at 6.5 dimes today. The optimizer saying give Drew Holiday a shot for the over. So they like him to get at least 7 assists today. 52.8% chance that he gets at least 7 dimes going up against the Miami Heat. So let's take a look at some assist projections here for Drew Holiday. We got Drew projected. Woo, look at this one, folks. Look at this one, folks. Drew Holiday, 8.6 dimes on a line of 6.5. That is a very strong first projection on Drew Holiday. Now that's what I like to see. 6.5 is the line. The projection's 8.6. That's a difference of 2.1 dimes. Love that. Let's see if we can find some other projections that are very strong on Drew Holiday's assists. Here's one. 6.5 is the line. 6.6 is the projection. That was a little closer. Not as aggressive, right? Not as high as that first projection. Let's go one more projection here on Drew Holiday at 6.5 assists. 7.1. Okay, I can live with that. 7.1. We need at least 7. We know that if we're going to take the over. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, because if you were to average out or aggregate these 3 projections, I think you'd be looking at 7 or more dimes on average if you average those 3 numbers out together. So 7 or more, I'm feeling okay about that. Drew Holiday for the over on 6.5 dimes. What are you guys thinking? We think Drew Holiday gets it done against Miami tonight? Maybe he doesn't score quite as much. Maybe he gets Giannis, Chris Middleton, and some of these other guys involved more by passing the ball. I could see Brook Lopez having a pretty decent game. Pat's fan says it's going to be a season of giving with Drew Holiday's assists. Roy's liking Drew for either his PRA or his assists. Prez Zoe saying Drew Holiday's points and assists could be a good look. Okay. All right. I see what you guys are saying. How do you super chat? All you do is if you look at the live chat window on YouTube, there's like a little dollar bill sign. You click on that and then you could leave. I think the minimum's like $1.99 or something like that. And then it will highlight your comment so that I can guarantee that you are seen here in the live chat. You'll get featured on today's show, and I'll definitely do my best to help you with whatever question you have included with your super chat. All right, so I would probably move Drew Holiday and these 6.5 assists up to like one of my top 3 plays. I think he leapfrogs KCP KCP under 11.5 points and assists. I think he also leapfrogs DAngelo Russell at less than 2.5 3-point makes. So if I could slide him up, I would slide him up to maybe like the 2nd or 3rd spot. I might even put him in front of Rui Hachimura at 9.5 points. So if I were to like order these, I guess we could just do it like this. Maybe we just go boom. I would probably play him something like that. I don't hate either one of those picks right there. That might be a nice little 2-pick play, honestly. I don't mind both of those. Let's get those other guys back in here, though. Rui under 9.5 points was the move. And then we had Pope under 11.5 points and assists. I like that one a little bit more than I liked this final pick, which was DAngelo Russell under 2.5 3-point makes. So if I were to like order them, I guess I would order them like this, based on like some of the projections that we've seen, based on like the percentage or the odds of them hitting. I think that's how I would kind of order them. So we could go 5 picks and try to go for 10 times our money, or we could push our luck, bump this thing up to a 6 pick and go for 25 times our money. You guys let me know in the chat what you want to do. All right. Let's see here. We got a couple of super chats that came through. Let's get to those. Appreciate you guys being patient. Those who have left a super chat. Let me get my scroll on here and go find these super chats. Michael left a super chat saying, Curry the GOAT. Love you, man. Michael, I appreciate the super chat. I love you as well. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Who else left a super chat? There was another one more recent. There we go. Robert Garcia leaving a super chat. Thank you, Robert. Means the world to me. I don't get on here and expect anything. Anytime you guys do super chat, though, it goes a long way to A, supporting the channel and free content here on YouTube, and B, goes a long way as far as just, showing me that you care. These super chats just really show that you care. So thank you, Robert. I appreciate you, man. He's asking me about Dillon Brooks. He wants to know, should we be going over or under on the 0.5 free throw makes for Dillon Brooks tonight? What do you guys think? Is Dillon Brooks going to get to the free throw line and make at least one from the charity stripe tonight? What do we think the chances are of Dillon Brooks getting to the free throw line and knocking one down? You're looking at the last 5 games. These are provided here for us by PrizePicks. Last 5 games, he's gone over in 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. He's facing the Lakers today. Let's go take a look at something real quick. We're going to use props.cash. Guys, if you're not using props.cash, check it out. Left a link down in the description of today's video. Code Curry will get you 25% off your first month of props.cash. So if you're the type of person who's more of a visual learner, if seeing is believing, right? Well, props.cash has got you covered. They got all the stats, everything that you want to know, all baked into one helpful, easy to use, friendly little app here. So definitely check out props.cash. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go down and we're going to go find the Los Angeles Lakers. We want to see where they rank in free throws allowed. The Lakers defense actually ranks first in free throws allowed, meaning there's not very many teams, actually no teams in professional basketball allowing fewer free throw makes to the opposition than the Lakers. They rank number 1, all right? So they're very stingy at sending opposing players to the free throw line. So it's going to be a sweat, okay? Matchup-wise, probably going to be a sweat. Now we can take a look and see what Dillon Brooks has done against the Lakers in previous matchups as well, thanks to props.cash. So we scroll down here. You got, different charts for everything. But we want to kind of take a look at his free throw attempts. Versus the Lakers, 0.7 free throw makes against the Lakers. 0.7. Which basically equates to this. He's played the Lakers 3 times. He had a goose egg. Second time he played him was February 28th. Got to the free throw line once, went 1 for 2. And then most recently, March 7th, failed to get to the free throw line. Okay? So he's 1 for 3 versus LA. Take that for what you will. But that's the facts. Dillon Brooks, he's committed a lot of personal fouls against the Lakers. So I don't know if they have his personal fouls up. Just while we're here, I kind of noticed, he had 6 personal fouls, 5 personal fouls, and 5 personal fouls versus the Lakers. Do they have Dillon Brooks up for personal fouls today? Let's go look. That might be the better way to go here. Where's he at? Personal fouls, 3.5 personal fouls on Dillon Brooks. Okay. Listen, we might have found ourselves something here. Forget the free throw make. This guy's committed 6, 5, and 5 personal fouls in 3 matchups versus the Lakers this year. He's easily cleared 3.5 personal fouls versus LA, averaging 5.3 personal fouls versus the Lakers in that 3-game span. What do you think about that? That might be the better way to go here. Forget the free throw makes. Maybe go personal fouls on this guy. Maybe he gets a little handsy tonight, right? That could be the move, though. Let's look at the last 10 games for Dillon Brooks and his personal fouls. 5. We got a hit there. 5, 6, 6. Not the greatest hit rates. 4 out of his last 10, 40%. But where it really shines is against the Lakers. He's had 5 or more fouls in every game versus LA this season. So maybe you take the personal fouls for the over here at 3.5. Do I have any projections for personal fouls? I might. Let me look. Let me look at something. We're going off the rails here a little bit, but we're going to try to find a personal fouls projection for Dillon Brooks. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Well, his personal foul projection is 3.5. So it's not a terrible projection. At least he's not projected to go under anyway, right? But with that 5 or more in all 3 games, against the Lakers, maybe he commits 4 or more tonight. That could be a move. All right. So, Robert, the free throw make doesn't look great, but maybe a good pivot from that would be taking the over on his personal fouls at 3.5. Hopefully that helps you out. All right. I'm going to leave him in there. I'm actually going to leave Dillon Brooks in there. He could stay in there. I'm gonna keep him in there at more than 3.5 personal fouls. I think that looks pretty nice against the Lakers. He has a good history, a good track record of committing at least 5 or more, right? So we got MPJ over 2.5 3-point makes, Holiday over 6.5 assists, Hachimura under 9.5 points, KCP under 11.5 points and assists, DAngelo Russell under 2.5 3-point makes, and Dillon Brooks over 3.5 personal fouls. Let's see if we can maybe find something that will knock one of these picks out. If we could find a good replacement, maybe we knock DAngelo Russell out for the under on the 3-point makes. Maybe we knock Kentavious Caldwell-Pope out for the under on the 11.5 points and assists. Let's see here. Pat's fan saying he's liking that, especially if he's guarding LeBron James. Dominic says he's tailing that one. Roy saying Scott Fisher is the fixer. Okay. I like what you guys are saying here. Robert saying definitely taking the personal fouls. Talk about finding a diamond when you were trying to find gold. Hey, we might have something here, Robert. You never know, right? TJ saying Scott Foster is the crew chief. There you go. Lance wants to know, how much time do you usually spend a day on research? Well, that's kind of a complicated question. So I consider what I'm doing right now with you guys time spent on research. So I'm usually here on YouTube with you guys live for at least an hour. Um, Outside of this, sometimes I make a second video for MLB. Didn't do that today. It's Sunday. I'm kind of kicking back, relaxing a little bit. But you know, those videos before I shoot them, maybe 15-20 minutes on those videos. I'm in, you know, Discord and Patreon all freaking day posting stuff. So I don't know, man. A couple of hours. I'm covering a lot though. Definitely covering a lot. So anyway. Got a couple of other super chats to get to. Appreciate you guys. Michael coming through with another one. He's saying, what about LeBron James for 6 dimes and Brooks' personal fouls? Oh, shoot. Michael, I didn't even see your super chat. I think we kind of stumbled on that accidentally, but Michael was actually liking the personal fouls on Dillon Brooks before we looked at it. So there you go, Michael. That's half of your super chat already taken care of, my friend. You also asked about LeBron James at 6 assists. Let's go take a look at the King and see if that is a plus EV play or not, because if it's not a plus EV play, you know, typically I don't take it. I'm going to make an exception here for Dillon Brooks and those personal fouls because they do look pretty damn sweet. But let's look at LeBron James here. He is at 6 dimes on PrizePicks, according to Michael here. And at 6 assists, the optimizer saying you got about a 52.5% chance that LeBron records at least 6 or more dimes today versus the Memphis Grizzlies. So that's looking like a pretty decent plus EV play, about a 2.5% edge or advantage in our favor, right? Based on the odds pulled in from the sports book. So don't hate that. First look, it looks pretty good as far as it being a plus EV play, but you know, I like to apply some projections to these. And the first projection we have exactly 6 dimes. Doesn't really help us out. Doesn't really help us make a decision over, under, more, or less in this case. So let's move on. Let's get another projection for LeBron James at 6 dimes. Here you go. Here's the line. It's at 6. Gosh, this projection, 5.94. You might as well call it 6 assists. So they might be right on the money here with his line being at 6 assists. This might be one that truly is a tie or push style prop today. Let's go to Number Fire, though, and see if we can get something that really swings, you know, the pick one way or another. 6.1 assists, man. There's not really much of an edge here. I guess you would take the over, lean over, but man, this really does look like one of those picks that's going to end up in a true tie or push. So if you want a pick that could tie or better, I think LeBron James is one that really looks like a potential tie. Out of the 2 picks that you mentioned, though, Michael, I really like that Dillon Brooks personal fouls one more than the LeBron James assist. That's just me. You guys let me know what you think. LBJ assists over 6 or Dillon Brooks personal fouls over 3.5. Let me know which ones you like better. Rocket Sauce coming through here with a super chat. Appreciate you, bud. He says he's loving the Michael Porter Jr. 3-point make pick. What about Jaren Jackson Jr. over 1.5 3-point makes? Okay, Triple J for more than 1.5 3-point makes. Well, you know what I'm going to do first and foremost? I'm going to start here with the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. This is what I always do. What you guys see me do in these videos is what I do for Patreon members. Is what I do for my own picks and research. We went 6-1 yesterday, picks that I posted to Patreon, just doing exactly what you see here. Now, timing might play a factor. The closer you are to the games, the more data, the more information, the more sharp money's probably coming in. So I kind of like to wait maybe closer to tip off, about an hour before tip off. I really start to dig in and post stuff for Patreon members. But what you see is what you get. I don't have any other secrets up my sleeves. You're seeing it right here on YouTube live. So this is what I do. And this is how I've amassed a 70.2% hit rate on picks posted month to date for April for Patreon members. But anyway, Jaren Jackson Jr., 1.5 3-point makes. The optimizer saying that the best way to play this based on the odds on the sports books is not the over, it's the under. I know you were asking about the over on Triple J, but you would be going against the grain, against the odds, And on a site like PrizePicks, it really just doesn't make any good financial sense to do that. Now, maybe if you're playing on a sports book where you can win more money betting on something at plus odds, that would probably make sense. But on PrizePicks, the odds are basically fixed on each leg of your entry. So there's really no advantage to doing that here. So the optimizer gives us about a 51.5% chance that Jaren Jackson Jr. will go under 1.5 3-point makes, which isn't a super strong percentage odds to hit, right, at 51.5%. But nonetheless, the under looking like the way that you should be thinking about playing this, not over. Let's go get some projections here on Jaren Jackson Jr. First projection has him at 1.7, very close to 1.5, a little closer to 2 than 1, right? So if you are thinking about taking the over, you could, based on that first projection, but I don't settle for just one projection. No, we got to go further. We got to dig a little deeper. 1.54 projected threes on a line of 1.5. That is about as close as you can get. So let's go to a third projection and just see if there's anything that's really going to like swing this one way or the other. 1.8 projected 3-point makes. Again, the line is 1.5. So you're seeing anything from like 1.5 to 1.8 is kind of the range on 3 different projection models. But the optimizer says you should be thinking about taking the under based on the juice, the odds on the sports books. So for me, I'm just going to leave it alone, brother. I think there's a better way to play today. I mean, I think there's better options out there than this one. I would fade it. I would leave it alone. Just, you know, my personal preference. Everyday Fantasy coming through with a super chat. He's like a Norman Powell at 1.5 turnovers. Interesting. Let's go see if we have any information. I want to refresh the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. Again, guys, if you want to get your hands on this tool, it's fantastic at finding value. It gets you in on the picks before they get bumped up, bumped down, or completely removed from the PrizePicks board. So really good tool. You can save some money using code Curry. Again, description down or link down in the description of today's video if you want to check it out. Excuse me. I'm trying to search for Norman Powell here. Can you cooperate? There we go. Norman Powell's turnovers. Definitely a plus EV play. For more than 1.5 turnovers, you got about a 53.4% chance that he turns it over twice or more. Clippers taking on the Suns. Suns pretty good defensively. They're going to have pretty much everybody that you could ask for healthy and ready to go. So plus EV. Can we get projections on this though? Let me see. I don't think Fantasy Labs or Action Labs has a projection for turnovers, but I think I might be able to get them elsewhere. Let me check some of these other sites here. Norman Powell turnovers, 1.5 is the line. 1.61 is the first projection. So slightly more than 1.5. Not a super strong projection, but more than 1.5 nonetheless. And then we got another projection of exactly 1.6. So 2 different projections have them at 1.6. It's not like it's, you know, at 1.9 or 2.6 or something, right? So it's a little bit higher than 1.5. But yeah, it is a plus EV play. So if you wanted to take that one, by all means, you can. I'm going to probably leave it alone if it hits. Don't be surprised if it hits. But I think I'm going to stick to a different like prop category or market. I don't play a lot of turnovers. That's just my personal opinion and taste, my preference. But guys, this is a plus EV play, almost a over 53% chance that it comes through. So Everyday Fantasy, you might be onto something nice right there. All right. Let's see here. Osmosis Jones. Of course, Club Cardi, I post different picks on Patreon. Of course I do, buddy. Why would I post the same stuff that I'm talking about here on YouTube to Patreon? That would just be, you know, a ripoff, wouldn't it? But yeah, I do. Absolutely. Yep. And I post cheat sheets for MLB and for NBA, basically projections versus PrizePicks lines, showing you the best edges, projections versus PrizePicks edges. We do giveaways every week. in Patreon, giving away risk-free entries to Patreon members. And so I'm just giving, try to provide as much value as I can. You get access to our private Discord where we chat it up, post our favorite props, picks, plays of the day, our favorite entries. So there's a lot of things going on. Pat's fan coming through with this super chat. I see you. Let me get to Osmosis Jones real quick. He was a little bit ahead of you. He says, "What's up, my boy? What's up, OJ?" He says he's got Austin Reeves for more than 5 assists. Let's go take a look at that one real quick. Austin Reeves has been playing lights out. I forgot to mention him earlier when we were talking about all the mouths on the Los Angeles Lakers that need to be fed. Austin Reeves is definitely one of them. Are you playing Austin Reeves at like an alternate line at 5? Because I'm showing him here at 4 on PrizePicks. Now, 4 assists on PrizePicks got about almost a 51% chance of him going over at 4 dimes. All right, so I'm not sure where you're getting him at 5, but he's at 4 on PrizePicks. Yes, we need 5 out of him for him to hit the over, though. So let's go take a look at Austin Reeves real quick. Here's a projection of 4.9 on a line of 4 on PrizePicks. So 4 or better seems doable based on this first projection. Let's check out some other ones real quick. Austin Reeves, 4's the line. The projection, 3.7. That's close to 4. Not quite 4, but close to 4 at 3.7. So let's go to a third projection here on Austin Reeves. The third and final projection has him at 3.3. So we're kind of, I don't know, kind of all over the place with this one. 3.3 being the lowest. 3.7, we'll call that one. 4.9. So anywhere from 3.3 to 4.9. Now, for me, when I check projection models out and they're that far apart, I don't feel so good about that. That's a pretty wide range of outcomes. 3.3 to 4.9. You're basically saying 3 to 5 in that range. And his line's sitting at 4. Maybe he ends up with exactly 4, but I'm not seeing anything that's like strong enough for me to be like convicted that he's going to have at least 5 dimes today. So I'm going to leave that one alone. Especially if you're taking the over at 5 assists, I would definitely leave that one alone. He might get 4, but I don't know about 5. 5's looking pretty tough. But it does kind of correlate well if you think about the DAngelo Russell under assist play at 5.5. So if he goes under, maybe that means more assists for a guy like Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, some of the other players that are on the Lakers, right? All right. But hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully that helps with your decision making. Let's see here. Pat's fan mentioned Kawhi Leonard for PRA. Are you wanting to go over or under on this one, my friend? You did not really specify, but maybe I can help you with that decision here. Let's look at it. Let's see which way is the best way to go based on the odds. So the optimizer at 39 PRA for Kawhi Leonard. We got about a 51.3% chance that Kawhi Leonard has at least 39 PRA or more. So this one has been bumped up from 38.5. It was 38.5. It is 38.5 on the books, but it's 39 now on PrizePicks. Still at 39, 51.3% chance that he gets 39 points, rebounds, and assists or better. So let's check some projections out for the Claw. For Kawhi Leonard. Here's the first projection, which has him at 38.5. That could break either way, right? 38.5 could be 38. 38.5 could be 39. It could break one way or the other. Now, in this case, you need at least 39 out of them to tie. You're hoping for more than that. You don't want to tie or push, but at the very least, you're hoping you tie so you don't lose. So that's the first projection on the Claw. Let's go to another one here. 36.3. Again, the line's 39, so 36.3 would be a pretty hefty under on a line of 39. And then let's go over to Number Fire real quick. So far, I'm not loving this pick, though. I don't know if you guys can tell, but 25 points, 4.5 assists. That's about 29.5. Let's call it 30 for easier math. And then you add on the 7.4 rebounds. He's at like 37.4. And that's rounded up slightly, which is less than 39. So I don't think I feel great about Kawhi Leonard's chances of clearing 39 PRA based on the projections that we're seeing. Most of the projections actually had him going for less than 39 PRA. So I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to fade it. If you want to take it, I would advise you only take it in a flex entry. Probably would not power play this one in like a 2-pick, 3-pick, or 4-pick power play. I wouldn't do that. I'd probably flex this one. Give yourself a little bit of a safety net in case Kawhi Leonard decides to kind of poo-poo, crap the bed, right? Let's see. Let's refresh the optimizer here. I think we've handled all the super chats that kind of came through for the time being. Let's refresh the optimizer. Let's just run through it one more time before we call it quits for the day. Just to recap. Rui Hachimura got bumped down from 9.5 down to 9. Oh, sugar. Well, hopefully some of you guys got him. Hachimura, it's been nice knowing you, but now that you're at 9, I'm going to kick you off 6-pick island. So now you are off on your own, Hachimura. We're down to 5 picks now. But Hachimura definitely got bumped. I would imagine it's because one of you 200 plus people who are watching this probably went and took some Hachimura under 9.5 points. I'd imagine that's what happened. And therefore PrizePicks, their hand was forced. They had to bump it down. Let's go back to the Opti though. Let's run through the first page of the optimizer real quick and see if anything else is just jumping out at us. Anything else that we have to have or must take. We got Karl Anthony Towns under 23.5 points. His line on the sports books is actually 22.5. He's 23.5 on PrizePicks. 54.4% chance that he goes for less than 23.5 points. Let's look at this one real quick because this one's probably going to get the bump treatment if it's. Oh yeah. All right. 22.9 first projection. The line's 23.5. First projection's 22.9. So that's obviously less. Let's check another one. 23.5 is the line. 22.5 is the projection. That's less as well. And 21.2 points on a line of 23.5. 3 for 3. All projections less than 23.5 points. 54% chance that he goes under 23.5. I like that. Let's see if he's still up on the board at 23.5. Definitely a plus EV play. Definitely projecting favorably. Yeah, he's still up there at 23.5. All right, I'm going to put him in there. And I think I'm going to kick DAngelo Russell out. We'll swap him out for Karl Anthony Towns. I like that for a shot at 10x, 10 times your money. I'm not mad at this 5-pick. I think we got a good 5 right there. I'm sure Karl Anthony Towns will be bumped soon. I would like to push this to a 6-pick. Let's see if we could quickly find a 6-pick real quick. Looking for one that can't tie, can't push. We don't want any ties or pushes. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm probably going to go back to my guy Norman Powell over the 1.5 turnovers. Who was that? I think that was Everyday Fantasy that liked that one. I might go back to that one. You also got a couple more that are starting to rise up the board here, like Anthony Davis over 13.5 rebounds. That seems like a high number, man, for AD. Anthony Davis over 13.5 boards. You got Bam Adebayo over 8.5 boards. Let's look at both of these guys real quick. Oh, shoot. Towns bumped down. I knew it. Damn it. That was a good pick. All right. Bam over 8.5 boards. First projection, 10.7. Second projection for Bam, 10.7. Give me some mo. And 9.4. All right. Go ahead then. Y'all take Karl Anthony Towns PrizePicks. I'm going to swap him out for Bam Adebayo over 8.5 rebounds because that one, 2 projections of 10.7 on Bam. I like the way that's looking. We could swap him in. And the other one was Anthony Davis over 13.5 boards. Let's look at AD's rebounds real quick. Anthony Davis, 13.9. Sheesh, that's a good projection at 13.5. That's an over. 13.5 is the line. 14.8 boards. Man, they expect AD to get busy today against Xavier Tillman and Jaren Jackson Jr. So that's an over for sure. And let's look at this last one. Got to move quick, man. PrizePicks watching. They watching. 13.7. So we got 3 projections. All of them are over 13.5 rebounds. So we could definitely add Anthony Davis over 13.5 rebounds and feel pretty good about that one. It's plus EV, projecting favorably on all 3 sites. All right, before they do any other trickery and tomfoolery, I'm putting this thing in because I don't want them to bump anything else on me. They've been bumping. That's what we went with. AD for more than 13.5 boards. That does seem like a really high number. I am scared about that one just a little bit. But Bam over 8.5 doesn't scare me as much. Dylan Brooks over 3.5 personal fouls. KCP less on his points and assists. Drew Holiday more than 6.5 dimes. And MPJ for more than 2.5 3-point makes. They took a couple of picks away from us, guys. Rui Hachimura under 9.5 points. Karl Anthony Towns under 23.5 points. And I think there might have been 1 or 2 other picks that they bumped on us. But yeah, they definitely watching, ain't they? Appreciate Ali Bodrick. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, guys. It's 1:16 p.m. Game start in about 2 hours or less. I think we've covered a lot today. I appreciate everybody who left a super chat. I appreciate everybody who joined. Thank you for getting us over 100 likes. Once again, I think that's 5 shows in a row. You're outpouring, you're subscribing, your likes, your super chats, all that stuff goes a long way, guys. If you want to join the community, Patreon down in the description of today's video. Daily Grind Fantasies in there. Promo link for props.cash. Save some money on DGF, props.cash. Everything's down in the description of today's video. I'm going to get out of here. Congratulations once again to Harrison Kestenbaum for winning our 2-pick power play giveaway. You get both of those picks right, Harrison. You win $100. Shoot me your PrizePicks email address to claim your risk-free 2-pick power play. All right, Carson, thanks for the super chat. Much love. Good luck to everybody out there. We'll see you in the next one.